welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Ebony and today we are discussing all things Civana Wellness Resort and Spa. If you're here, it's probably because you're looking to plan a trip to Civana, you're interested in the resort and what they're offering, or you may have seen my vlog about my experience and you kind of want a little bit more details about my time there. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So first things first, why did I choose this resort? So I had Civana on my wish list for probably a year, maybe even 2 years before I actually decided to book the trip to go. I was waiting for someone to be able to go with me. I was waiting for the right time, and I decided that basically 4 days before I booked my hotel was going to be the perfect time for me to go. I was looking for a place where I could reset, I can do a little bit of reflecting. I also just wanted a place where I can kind of just recharge. So prior to me booking this trip, I was in a transition of moving from out of state to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was feeling a bit overwhelmed. So I decided that I'm gonna treat myself to something. I survived my first month in a new city. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go stay at Civana. I'm gonna do it. I don't have anyone to go with and I'm tired of waiting, and I've done solo trips before, so let's do it. So that's what I decided to do. I've always wanted to go on a retreat as well. But the thing is that when I'm looking for retreats online, I always felt like it was a little hard for me to find one that exactly provided everything that I wanted. Not where I felt like I had to attend certain activities just because I'm paying for them. I like the idea that at Civana, I felt like I could kind of cherry pick my experience. I was able to pick out which classes I wanted to take, which workshops I wanted to do, what time I wanted to start my day, have my meals, like basically have a retreat that I curated myself. And it was actually really refreshing. I obviously loved the stunning views. My skin did not necessarily love Arizona in May. However, the views were immaculate. I honestly felt like I was kind of like in a secluded area. The resort is located in Carefree, Arizona, so that's about 40 minutes from 40 minutes from Phoenix, so it's not a bad drive. It is in a small town, so there are things to do in the town, which is about probably like less than a 5-minute drive away. But I felt like the resort was very quiet, very secluded, very peaceful. Everyone respected the areas that were considered quiet zones. And I felt like we all shared a common goal for being there. So that's essentially why I chose the resort. I wanted to curate my own experience. I wanted to reset, recharge, reflect, and I was able to achieve all of those things. So let's talk about the environment of the resort. So I said before that it was like kind of like in a secluded area. It is desert, very hot, very open in the sense of like there are not many trees, obviously. It's the desert. But there are little areas throughout the resort where it's kind of like covered or shaded. So absolutely pack your sunscreen. Pack your sunscreen. I am begging you. They do have sunscreen at the resort. If you don't have any, they do have some like free sunscreen stations. Well, there's only one. I think I only saw it at the pool. But it was very quiet out there. It's beautiful at night. No light pollution. I saw something I have never seen before, or at least I haven't seen since I was a child. And I saw the Big Dipper and Little Dipper. If you're into constellations, you know, like light pollution is very real when it comes to looking at the stars. And it was so beautiful out there at night. During the day, you do see a fair amount of wildlife. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was looking for the more intense species. So I was looking for a snake. I didn't see one. I was hoping to see like a coyote or something. I did not see one. I saw a lot of birds. I saw a lot of rabbits or like hares. I saw a lot of lizards. What else? One thing that the people have been seeing around the resort, but I did not get to see personally, was a roadrunner. I always forget that roadrunners are real birds. I think it's because I just associate roadrunners with the Looney Tunes cartoons. So I'm just thinking about the big bird, but they're obviously like really small birds. But people were seeing them around the resort. And then, what else? I think that's it. But there's a lot of wildlife, a lot of birds around the resort because there's a lot of like areas for them to kind of like congregate and like hang out by like the water. There's like a little stream or a little ponds that flow through the resort. Sunrise, absolutely stunning. Sunset, stunning. Like, and I will say that because of the time change for me, it was a 3-hour time change coming from the East Coast. And so my body was kind of all over the place getting acclimated in such a short period of time that I was up, not by choice. Well, no, actually, I wanted to get up for the sunrise, but I wasn't sure if I would actually see the sunrise. But God knew I wanted to see it, so I woke up magically every morning, right on time, right before sunset started. So it was around 5:30, 6 o'clock, maybe closer to 6 when the sun was rising out there. And then sunsets are just as beautiful. There are tons of places around the property for you to kind of just catch some views. There are hammocks. There are little like park benches. There's like open grass areas where you can just sit down and have a seat. And then let's talk about, so it's very quiet, very secluded. There's no smoking at the resort. There is not a formal dress code at all because I was worried about a dress code when I was packing, so I definitely overpacked. There are people who are walking around in their robes, like they do have the coziest of robes in the room, and people wear them out all through the resort. They wear them to the pool. They wear them to breakfast. Like they just hang out in their robes, so don't be alarmed if you see people hanging out in their robes. Some people wore swimsuits all day or activewear all day. Some people were dressed not super formal, but like business casual through the days. But it's definitely like a vibe for everyone. Kids are not allowed at the resort from what I could see and then what I read on the website. You have to be at least 14 years old to visit the resort, and you have to be with an adult. But during my time there were not any kids at all. Of course, let's talk about the experience of just being there. So there are a ton of things to do around the resort. So outside of like the workshops and the classes and the offerings that they have a pool, there's a hot tub, there's a spa, there's like pickleball courts. There are, I think pickleball/tennis courts. There's areas for like you can run, go for walks, hiking. There's a gym. There's I'm missing one more area. But outside of those things, they also have their weekly offerings of classes, and that's probably what makes them so popular. That's why I wanted to stay at the resort. So each week they offer over 100 classes, workshops. So they vary from fitness, so it's like yoga classes, aerial yoga, kayaking, canoeing, hiking, horseback riding. They have workshops like figuring out your mantra, healing, like inner intimacy healing, self-esteem, figuring out your I am statement. There's sound baths, there's yoga nidra classes, there are effective communication courses, and what else? Classes on how to journal. And I think that the time that I went was actually like perfect timing. I took so many classes. I'm one of those people who likes to get their money's worth. So I took a lot of classes. I took a class about effective communication and building rapport in your relationships. I took a class about journaling for the 8 desires. I took a course about healing for intimacy, so learning about being more vulnerable and sharing with others. I took a couple of sound baths. I took a yoga class. I took the I am mantra class. The facilitators there's different ones for everything. But I really enjoyed all of the facilitators that I've had. I actually even bought the book for one of the ladies, Veronica Clark. I bought her book recently to kind of continue my journey. I felt like while I was there, I did do a lot of reflecting. I learned so much about myself, and through these workshops, then like I felt like the classes that I took there were actually more helpful than the things that I got out of certain therapy sessions. And I know that's probably crazy to say, but I've been in and out of therapy personally, like for probably 10 years, different types of therapy, different types of therapists. And I felt like the workshops that I took really just got straight to the point. Like, we're here to do the work. Like, forget all the fluff that sounds good. We're here to do the work. We're here to identify what the problem is and the solution and how you can move forward. And I just felt like a renewing energy. And I was like, you know what? I actually feel like I want to do the work. Like, sometimes when I was going to therapy, I was just like, I mean, if I'm gonna have to do this whole thing by myself, then it ain't gonna get done. But with the classes that I took at the workshops, there were definitely like next steps for what you can do, how to actually overcome your challenges and who you can talk to. A lot of them are life coaches, or they're accountability partners, or they're yoga teachers, or they're Pilates teachers. Like, they wear a lot of hats. They do a lot of roles, and they really care about what they do. Like, I can say from the courses that I attended, the facilitators genuinely cared and did the work and did the research and did the studying to facilitate their courses. So there's that. And then there were also some fun classes that were available. So there's like one about like facing your fears with water. There's one about like bathing in the desert. So it's like something where you go on a hike and like, I guess you go bathe in the desert somewhere after a hike in like a pond or something. I have no idea. I will say most classes are free, but they do have some courses that require you to pay a fee. So like some of them were like, the fees I saw were like $40 for like healing through water. I think that was like a $40 course. And there were some where like you worked with a personal trainer or a personal facilitator, or like a one-on-one workshop life coach situation. I think those were like $150. But you can find like the full schedule on the website. You can book your classes in advance. You can book 2 classes per day in advance of your trip. I think a day before your trip, you can book 2 classes per day. And then when you get there, you can book as many as you want. I will say that they will not allow you to book classes that are back to back. So if you have a class that ends at 3 p.m. and your next one starts at 3 p.m., they won't allow you to book it, saying that you have like a conflict. And I know it kind of sucks, because it's like, I get it, because like, you know, the classes are all throughout the resort. So you may end up being late or have to leave early. But it's like, you know, some of the classes are too good to pass up. Like, I want to be double booked, triple booked. But yeah, the full schedule's on the website, along with any of the classes that require like extra surcharge or a fee, and they'll just charge it to your account and you just pay it at checkout. So let's talk pricing. So for my 2-night stay, I spent $700, which included the $70 daily amenities or experience fee. That experience fee covers like your Wi-Fi, your self-parking, the fitness amenities, the hydration stations that they have throughout the resort. They also give you like a canteen as well to be able to like stay hydrated during your stay. And then it also goes towards like the classes and the offerings that they have. I felt like $700 wasn't bad for a last minute trip, but it also depends on how long you want to stay. So I think it was about $350 a night. I did go during a holiday weekend, so I checked in on Memorial Day and I checked out on that following Wednesday. So it was like essentially like $350 per night. As far as like availability goes, I think they have more affordable rates in the summertime, obviously because summer in the desert is extreme temperatures, so they may not have as many people. I've seen as of the filming of this video that they've had for a stay next week, which it would be like the 3rd week of June. The prices were between like $250 and $280 per night. So that's about almost like $100 savings if you go in the summertime. The prices are a lot more if you are looking for like the cooler months. So like November through I think March, I saw some rates where they were like $600 a night. But also, if you're traveling solo, when you go to book your hotel, make sure you're only checking that there's 1 adult for the stay, because they will charge you the additional fees if you check in saying that there's 2 people and there is not actually 2 people at your booking. So you would have to kind of work that out with them if you end up making that mistake. Let's talk about the food. So on food, I kept all of my receipts. So on food, I spent $441.97. So on site, they do offer room service. They also have a restaurant called Seed, which is kind of like a cafe vibe. So they have like smoothies, fresh pressed juices, coffee. They do like little salads, little acai bowls, like small things, and they have like some prepackaged meals like sandwiches, and then they have like a full restaurant on site which is called Terra's, and that's where you can get like breakfast, lunch, dinner all through the day. They do offer a happy hour. I think it's like from 4 to 5:30 or 4 to 6. It's a very limited menu, so don't get too excited over it. And then like I said, they also offer room service. So if you don't want to eat on site, if you have a car, you can definitely, even if you don't have a car, there were some people that did Uber Eats and DoorDash as well, because there are like local businesses in the area that they will deliver food for you. I just kind of just made it simple for myself, and I just ordered what was there. Some of the foods, the items were hit or miss. One thing that's sticking with me that I did not like at all was their grilled Caesar salad. I've never had a Caesar salad that was grilled before, so I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like it was very soggy. That's just one meal that sticks out to me that I did not enjoy. And then something that sticks out that I really did enjoy was this corn chowder soup. Yeah, I was eating soup in the desert. But it was really good. Their soups are really, really good. I also had this heart of palm crab cake that was really good. And then the breakfast was kind of like standard breakfast. Like they have French toast, they have oatmeal, they had pancakes, matcha pancakes. They have omelets, shashuka. They have like the typical breakfast foods. I will say the pricing on the meals, it depends on what your usual spend is for food and beverages, but I personally feel like they were a little bit high. I don't know for sure if everything is like organic, grass-fed, pasture-raised, things like that, and that's probably like a factor into the pricing. But it will be listed on the website if they are. But they do have a meal program where it's $179 per day per person, and if you are visiting with someone and you guys share a room, I think both of you have to have the unlimited meal package. So there is an unlimited meal package, but it does not cover your alcoholic beverages or like if you get any mocktails. It doesn't cover pre-packaged meals and offerings, and that's, like I said, $179 per day. I personally did not opt for that just because I used my credit card perks. So I'll share with you a little bit about my credit card perks that I used to kind of like decrease the price. But first, I'll share that overall for the 2 nights and for my meals, I spent about $655 after all of my like credit card points, reward perks or whatever. So I'm an American Express card holder. So I was able to get a $200 hotel credit. So my hotel room was essentially $500 for 2 nights. I was able to get a daily breakfast credit of $60 or 2 credits of $60 each, so about $120 per day for breakfast. And then I also got a $100 resort credit as well. I was able to check in early and I had late checkout. And then also I was eligible for a free upgrade, but they were fully booked, so I was not able to get an upgrade. But I honestly thought my room was an upgrade because my view was absolutely stunning from my balcony. So all in all, I spent $655 during my time at Civana Wellness Resort and Spa. Sorry if I'm looking down, I have all my little pricings. I wanted to make sure that I gave you all like an accurate depiction of how much money I spent. So like I have like a dinner bill that was $83. I have one that was $69. I got a smoothie that was $16.40, and this is with tax and gratuity. I got a coffee that was $8. I think this is lunch that was $45. Like, it's kind of pricey. I think most meals start probably around, or I would say single items on the menu I would say they probably started around $17. So anywhere between $17 and then like for dinner where it gets really expensive. I think I saw like a grilled chicken dinner with like a side, and I think it was like $45. So yeah, to me, I feel like the food was very expensive. When I go back, when I go back again, I would probably consider doing the meal package if I stayed longer, but because I was only staying for 2 nights and I was able to use all of my Amex perks, I just felt like it wasn't worth it. I was never going to eat enough to kind of justify the pricing. So essentially I've only paid $155 for food, and that includes gratuity tax, and then $500 for my room, so total of $655. But yeah, overall experience, 10 out of 10. I would absolutely go back. I will be back. And I definitely recommend, I highly recommend. I understand that it's not for everyone though, because some people just want a vacation where they could just lay out. And some people want a vacation where it's like more restorative and recharging and reflecting. So I understand it's not for everyone, but for me, I personally enjoyed my time there and I would absolutely go back. I'm honestly hoping to go back next year. If I can go back in 2025, I will. But if not, 2026, it's on my radar. I hope you all found this video extremely helpful. If there are any questions that you had that I may not have covered, please leave them down in the comment section below and I'll do my best to answer them. I'll also have my vlog of my experience at Civana linked down below as well. Otherwise, I will see you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye.